Axie fam is in the house. Axie fam. I've been playing this goo team. So we played a bunch of games. Win one. 1-1-1-1. Lost one. 1-1. Lost one. This team was very interesting. It was a double anemone, but he has pre-order tag on Bubble Maker, which is pretty cool because Bubble Maker goes back on top of your deck, and if it does, like if you don't cast it, instead of it being retained in your hand, it goes on top of your deck, and it gives your other Axies bubble, right? And then he adds a bunch of bubble paste on his stuff. Very interesting team, Double Goda. This team was kind of similar, right? The only difference is this guy was playing a Robin, and he got his Robin kind of high, but Robin and Koi is kind of a nombo. Robin triggers on every hit, so you don't want to use 2 energy to hit one. You want to use 1 energy to hit 4 times, right? Robin would be really good with Leafy. But we lost to Baby Yang, and then I realized what my problem was. So let's go through the matches, right? Because these matches are, oh, and this is oh, you weren't supposed to see those. That's for the other video. I tried a triple dual blade team for a while. With mixed results, right? It's a lot of fun to play though. This guy is Toothless, which also applies bleed. We have Nyan and Jaguar. That team is actually a lot of fun to play. The Goo team. Right. I feel like part of my stuff is cut off again. Is there something like problem here? I don't know why some stuff is cut off. Kind of vanilla start. We play Garish where I make a discard card. Like not relevant here. We could go and retain the Koi. Opponent hits a tri-spikes, it's our mid-liner. See, before we were playing Shady Exchange, and then we were playing the fragment stealing one and the extra fragment one, and actually changed all of this. You'll see in game 5. So play a telescope, we get a offer card on top. We go ahead and play this guy's ear breathing because this guy had the confused, right? So we didn't want to play that one. Opponent draws. He has the Razor Bite. Razor Bite, very underrated card. Razor Bite is very good. Razor Bite, Toothless, and what's the other card? There's one other card that doesn't get played a lot that has been surprisingly good. So our secret tech is coming out here. We have Kataro with the Snail Shell, so puts a goo in their deck. Play the Risky Fish. Probably should have played that first, but we get a bunch of Confused in our deck. Confused is very good against our strategy. We have a ton of cards in our opponent's deck already. Opponent hitting our frontliner with the dual blades. Plays the Hair Dagger. Plays the Scarab. Kills off our frontliner. Pass to the turn. We draw really bad, so we go and retain the Ear Breathing. Play the Cute Bunny, and then play the Ear Breathing, right? Gotta use all that energy every turn. It's nice to see they fixed the bug in training, right? Because I was trying this out in training. Uses Gil, gets some area of effect. He's already starting to draw some goos. Hits us with a Hair Dagger. Hair Dagger almost never gets bonus damage against us because we only have Garish Worm and Cottontail as our retained cards. Opponent opts not to play any of the goos. We get to play our Cottontail here, and then I retain the Ear Breathing. I'm playing Anemone, Cute Bunny, Ear Breathing. So we only really use that Cottontail as a heal, which feels kind of bad. And I think I was playing that incorrectly. Right? Opponent starting to draw some garbage. Get some Confused into his deck there. And I guess what we didn't see there is when I played the Parasite, I put a very important card of his on the bottom of his deck. So here it is again. Oh, it doesn't show us in the replay anymore. So there I put another card in the graveyard, right? I wish it would show us the card like an animation, you know? So our opponent's drawing garbage. Double Jinx, so we get 2 bad luck triggers. It's kind of nice. I think the damage from those triggers when you draw them, as opposed to the Kataro getting the Death Mark, very good here. Then we get to play the Garish Worm, and then the Anemone. We want the Anemone to kill the guy, just because I thought it'd be fun there. So first game, nothing special there. Let's go on to game 2. This problem they need to fix. It must be like a memory leak or something, because every time I mess around in the replays, it freezes and crashes, like most of the time. All right, this team is really silly. Our opponent playing Shady Exchange, but he has the Gaia's Embrace, which I really like. So his backliner is 500 HP. Is Rise and Ruin. Our opponent has Rise and Ruin. But he's playing Tiny Fan. Like, I don't know what our opponent's doing. He's trying to Tiny Fan some people, right? That card is the other card that's been surprising me. It's actually why we lost in the game you'll see we play against one of our subs. We lose because there's a busted interaction with Ear Breathing and Taunt. So if the unit dies to an attack, the other Ear Breathing hits don't count as hits on other targets. It thinks they all hit the taunted unit. So we play an Ear Breathing. It hits the first one, kills it. Second one hits the backliner. So we got one from the Snail Shell charm and one from the Ear Breathing. And that's it. When we should have got 1, 2, 3, right? So kind of wonky. So we missed out on a trigger there. Not that big of a deal. Our opponent's climbing. The double carrot hammer is very, very good. I think that might be the most consistent way to like climb, right? Sometimes you get 2, sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 5. We get a monster 4 proc there against our opponent. Opponent draws a void, a goo, hollow, pumpkin, and a tiny fan. So what he needs to start doing is he needs to start retaining cards if he bricks hard like that. That way, okay. So here's where I was talking about. So play the Garish Worm, then we play the Revenge Sword. Okay, it must have been the first iteration. Play the Parasite. I don't remember what we put on bottom. It gets to draw a card. We play Ear Breathing, hits 2 targets. Not that great, but our opponent cannot cast this card, right? If it gets to the point where he can cast this Tiny Fan, like, we're in big trouble. This game actually came pretty close. Double Tiny Fan, unnecessary. If this guy was any other card that could, any other Axie that could tutor and give you some energy. Oh, it's kind of weird. It blocks my energy count in the replay. It's kind of wonky. So I play the Anemone here. I was hoping that it was going to be enough damage, but I don't have any damage charms on my guys. We ended up using Cute Bunny on this guy, which Cute Bunny is actually really good in our deck. So right here, he's going to play these 3 here, but if he drew like 4 Confused, 1 Goo, and whatever, he has to retain everything he can and play the Goos that he can, right? So he's about to be able to where he can cast this card. Ear Breathing, we get 3 Goos here. Another Ear Breathing, we get 2 Goos. Go ahead and pass to our opponent. Like our opponent has 3 Goos in hand. Plays the Goldfish. Can't finish off our guy. He has 2 Tiny Fans in hand. So if this guy is revealed with like no shields, he's just dead to a Tiny Fan here. Dun dun dun. So here we get to play a Revenge Sword to kill off this guy. Then we go ahead and play the Kataro. Make sure the Kataro doesn't hit the frontliner there. Gets a Goo in his deck. And then we get to play the Garish Worm. And then I'm like, do I play the Pincer? Yes, I play the Pincer. Just in case, some miracle, he's able to play 1 card and the Tiny Fan. I don't know. So he plays Carrot Hammer. Draws a ton of Goos here. And then unfortunately for our opponent, like basically the only cards in our deck are this guy's cards. So he's going to have a rough next turn. So wasn't able to pull off the Tiny Fan finish. Hit him with a Kataro. Then we hit him with Ear Breathing. Double Death Mark trigger. Our opponent's not having a good time. Go on to game 3. I don't know what it is about being in the replay screen. We actually lose this match, right? And see, look, he has pre-order tag on the Bubble Maker. So it costs 2 energy, but he just never plays it. Right? He's asking for trouble when it comes to like a Pigeon Post team. Right? So, and plus he has like double Anemone, double Goda, so like kind of low damage cards. But this guy has a triple nut dual blades backliner with Ronin, and that Ronin is going to hit us pretty hard this game. So it's plus 11, so 51 base damage. So it gets 26 damage per energy played before it, right? So lot of damage. Play our frontliner ear breathing. Go and play the clear. That's where I realized I should have played the pincer. I think the pincer triggers against the bubble maker, because I think that might count as a keep. I'm not entirely sure. Pincer, I think, the worst mouth card in the goo deck. Right, so opponent opts not to play his double Nemos there. Ear breathing, we get 2 triggers. Ear breathing, we get 3 triggers. Well, we get 2 triggers and we get 1 from the charm, right? So opponent playing the Gyro, getting the Fragile, which is actually pretty good here. Hits us with Anemone, hits us with the Nutcracker, doing 124 damage already. Like, that's pretty good damage. We draw really bad here. Double Void. We have the Void from him and the 3 Void from the frontliner from the rune that we're playing. I retain one of the cards, and then I opt to go ahead and just play the Cottontail, I believe. Oh, no, I don't play the Cottontail because I don't have enough yet. Opponent triple goo turn, still getting out tons of damage. Triggers the Bubble Bomb, gets rid of one of the goos in his deck. This guy definitely needs to have the Thorny Caterpillar to be the finisher, right? When 1v1, like, he just feels, he used to feel really great, but he does not feel nearly as powerful now that Garish Worm is just 1 energy and it has the discard effect. So look at these monster 131 damage from the nut, followed up by a 131 damage Ronin. I am getting my butt whooped by this triple nut beast. He just does not care. Play a Revenge Sword. Go ahead and play the ear breathing. We get lucky 4 procs there. Opponent, like 30% of this guy's deck, and look at his draws. He plays a dual blade followed by gigantic Nutcracker for 144 damage, and like, we just could not stop the beast from wrecking our stuff. Triple nut beast, double Anemone. Not bad, not bad. On to game 4. 3 voids in our deck, and this is against one of our subs. Starts off with the Trunk, and he's playing the Memento Leaf. It used to be called Natured Ground. Very good against us. We start off with the Anemone to get the kill and reset our Anemones. He's emoting on us the whole game. He's in Dragon 1 right now. We're in Dragon 4. So we got 2 Jinxes in his deck from this guy's cards, right? Because we have 2 Jellyfish. We'll play a Ear Breathing. Ear Breathing, both of our Ear Breathings in this guy have the get 10 free shields from the Bug Charm. These guys don't have enough to put the goo on there. If these guys were able to put the Bug Charm, the Lazy Snail, on these guys, they'd be so sick. But they are 1 potential point away from being able to use that Bug Charm. So we're attacking here. He has a little Shiitake. And Shiitake, I forgot how strong this card is with the new buff. So if we look at the new one, right? It says, where's it at? Oh, wrong guy. This guy's a Shiitake. It says, summon a mushroom. When your turn ends, this card stays in your hand. Okay, whatever. He says, heal stat. Wait, what? It doesn't tell us what the mushroom does. Flunky. That turn, we just played the card hit here, gave him the death mark, and then played the pincer to shield our boys. So he has the root there on the mushroom. I guess it's kind of nice because now he could he doesn't have to keep redrawing the mushroom, and when it dies, he plays another one. Was it called Sacred Root or something like that? So gonna hit us with the confusion, right? So if we look at his total curses, his go to confuse, ear breathing, Gravelant, which triggers the fear, which triggers that. So look, we never trigger either of these from the pincer, right? Death mark here. Go ahead and play the parasite. We put a card on bottom. Oh, actually, I think I don't remember if we did. One time we played it and he only had 1 card on top, and we didn't want to put it in his graveyard because it was just a goo. I don't remember if that was that time or not. So, anyways, so double ear breathing, but he has the Thorny Caterpillar, right? So he's gonna Thorny us for like 250. 250, right? Which means like we don't really have a good finisher. Cottontail feels really bad. I do not like Cottontail. I'd rather my tail be anything other than Cottontail. I would really like it to be Twin Tail. Twin Tail, and then the mouth, Razor Bite, then Guitarro Eyes, Ear Breathing, Parasite, and Garishworm feel fine. A very bad draw here. So if we're looking at this, so right, he has the Lagging, which can put a goo in our deck. He has the Snail Shell, Ear Breathing, Double Talk, putting 2 Ravens here in a second. We have the Confused from Confusion, but we also have the Hot Butt. This card is so good against this, and he plays the Gravelite here, so like 200 effective health, right? We're already into our extra HP, and like we're starting to draw like garbage. We actually just surrendered this game because we draw so horrendously, right? We play that, and then we buy back the Confused there in the turn. So we have 16 in our pile, and look, he only has 5 in his pile. It's like he's not getting the goos in his deck, basically. He's not ever having to get rid of them. Go ahead and plays the Cucumber Slice, heals up this guy, plays another Gravelant there. We draw triple goo, double Confused Void. We're like, yeah, this is over, man. We're not going anywhere. So we go ahead and surrender. Because we knew that he had like a 60 or 70% chance of drawing Thorny Caterpillar that turn, and it was going to be all over, right? So all he had to draw was like Double Talk and Thorny Caterpillar, and the game was over. All right, so let's look at this. This is game number 5. We actually played a bunch of games with this because we didn't record it live. So we just played a whole bunch of games, and I wasn't talking through each one. I was like, I'll just do the replay. So here's a kind of wonky start. I forgot that Buzz doesn't give a card in their deck anymore. And it wasn't until right now I'm really discovering that, oh yeah, I'm dumb. Buzz isn't good, so this guy is not good in this deck. We need a replacement for this guy. Go ahead and play the Ear Breathing, puts 3 cards. I guess if this guy had Hardy Warrior, it would be alright, because then the Ear Breathing shots are hitting for like 40, you know, at the beginning of the match. Our opponent here doesn't know the power. Like, our opponent, my cat's attacking me, if you're wondering what I'm doing here. Stop! Stop! My cat is going crazy. We'll go and play the Koi into the back. I'm not too sure why I did that. I think it was something to do with Shiba. But plays the little branch. Look at these rage decks. 8 on the back, 5 in the middle, 7 on the front. He go ahead and plays Innocent Lamb. He's going to play the Risky Beast. Oh, this game, I don't know if you noticed, but we had a Calcium Armor up front. Very good. We still have the basic neutral energy fragment, but now we're playing Gloomy Dice. That's why he keeps getting so much garbage into his deck, right? Go ahead and play the Guitarro. Go ahead and put a goo in his deck. Play the Ear Breathing. Get a double Deathmark trigger. Get 2 goo procs. Go ahead and play the Cottontail for no healing. And play the Anemone to put another curse card in his deck. Just because I know how detrimental. Look at this turn. 9, 7, and 8. Plays the Shiba. Rages 2 of his guys. Triple Confused in his hand. But it's all he had. He couldn't just pass his turn. Play the Ear Breathing to get the double Deathmark, so we make sure we hit the other guys. We get 3 goos in our deck. Play the Garishworm. Kicks off his Cottontail. So now he has to like redraw that, maybe. So he attacks, but he should use the Confident to get rid of the Confused there. I guess he had 8 rage stacks. And then he went ahead and used Little Branch and killed my guy. Ended the turn with one energy. Here's a turn. We play Garishworm to hit his guy. We go ahead and play the Ear Breathing to kill his front and put a bunch of goos in his deck. And we pass the turn to the Rage team, who plays a Little Piece, giving us the vulnerability. Then he plays the Little Branch, giving him 6 rage stacks. Passes the turn to us, and I mean, he did. We'll play a Guitaro for the finish. Man. So, do I think this team is good? No, I don't. Actually, it's a ton of fun to play when your opponent draws like 5 goos and you get to see that in the replay. But for the most part, it's like yeah, so whatever. You know, it's like, yeah, it's just too risky, right? When you're not doing like a whole bunch of damage, you're doing like something that's like a maybe effect, right? So it's not like when we were playing against Baby Yang, where he had a substantial finisher in his mid lane, right? So we couldn't focus his back, couldn't focus his front. We had to focus one of them down to get to the mid, right? So very smart. But dedicated curse team, like we don't have a dedicated goo team. So if our backliner had thwarted Caterpillar, I think it'd be a little bit different story. So that being said, I don't really know if triple ear breathing by itself is enough, right? Because right now we're playing like almost the there's a cat here on my thing, playing almost the ideal version with our runes and charms, but our move set is bad. So maybe we need some bugs with those body parts. Maybe ear breathing on a bug with some like high capability of having like being able to have 3 of those lazy snails. Oh yeah, that's where it's at, man. I don't think it's that good, especially with Buzz not putting in the days. That was pretty detrimental to our build. So this is not the ideal version of the build. I think the triple snail shell, triple ear breathing, or maybe double rice, double snail shell, double ear breathing on the front and the mid, and then your backliner could be a thorny caterpillar, or you can have them on your mid if you want to avoid the aquas. The aqua players, they have a choice on a lot of their pure aquas. They can either attack the front or the back, right? So you can't really defend the front and the back at the same time, unless you're playing shield backup, I guess. But what do you want to see next? Do you want to see that triple dual blades team that you might have had a sneak peek? I'm out of here. Leave a comment down below of what team you would like to see next. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, Felicia. What could be next? Is the next video gonna be the triple dual blades team? Dude, that team is very fun to play. It just feels so powerful.